Hi, I'm Brad Knowles, producer of Friday Night Flies, hosted by Scott LeBoldis and Scotty Holmes. Enjoy the show.
Hey, who's that handsome devil?
I'm back. I'm back for a show. I'm here with Brad tonight, who seconds ago was looking like a crazy guy. He had on a bandana around his face. He looked like he was ready to leave the store and go rob somebody. As an American.
I was looking
Yeah,
at
because
all
it was
that
an
fly
American.
tying.
It was, what's that?
I was looking at all your fly tying materials there that I don't have.
Yeah, well, I think you pretty much have everything that I have there, Brad. You got all the same stuff.
What do you think of that new intro song for
The Starsky and Hutch like music that we were just playing? That was who shared and said it sort of sounded like the early 70s Starsky and Hutch
disco, man?
disco cheesy music that came on in every.
I'm trying to achieve like Friday Night Flies. It's like, hey man, Friday night. It's alive. It's alive.
We are alive. Yeah.
Alive.
Okay.
So what do you got for us tonight, my man?
Well,
what have you been doing, honestly? What can be more important than time flies on Friday night with your homeboys from the crew?
A lot of work. A lot of work, and you know what? Through the summertime, I mean, we weren't tying a lot anyways, but I was doing a lot of. I'm doing still a lot of house maintenance. The things that I probably didn't the 4 or 5 years that I fished nonstop, basically morning to night.
You know what you need to do? You need to do some more fishing, my man.
Yeah,
you
well,
need a vacation.
Well, that's the plan. Hopefully, the house stuff will be over. And the start of this year, we're going to be getting back into fishing, starting with some ice fishing, obviously,
your hair
because
is getting longer since the last time we saw you, man.
Hair grows. Your fingernails grow, your hair grows. The hair on your nose grows.
Everything's good.
It's
the health is good. The wife, the family's good.
Yeah, they're doing well. Everybody's doing well.
Okay.
It's winter in Whistler with no snow, so
Perfect.
there you go.
Okay, tie your damn fly.
Okay.
What do we got here?
Okay, well, what we got is we got some craft fruit before we go down low. Okay,
Yeah.
So
Where'd you get this stuff, man?
I got it. I think at not a Pacific Angler, one of the places downtown.
Yep.
Maybe my fly shop, but whatever. Anyways, it's done by a company called Fair Flies. This one is.
Nice.
Reality being, it's not cheap. I think it was like $8 or $7 for this. But when I saw it, I had to have it. It's just perfect for around here and for tying minnow patterns and
Bard works well
all sorts of things.
Bard works well with streamers, man. Works well with everything that flows.
It really does. And then the other product that we have here, which is something that Brad goes, oh, that's Flashable. Well, it's not. It's called Creelex.
And that's from our good folks from
Chinook Outfitters.
That's right. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Susan. This stuff, it's amazing. It's the flow that it has in the water. I mean, compared to Flashable, I think it's at least a double step up. Like, it's 40% better in my estimation than Flashable.
Well, I'm gonna get me some of that.
Yeah, you do. I might even give you a little bit of this if you ask nicely. And don't put on your mask and mug me again, okay?
Okay, let's go down and we'll give her a slow roll there, Scotty.
Okay, well, there you go.
That looks a lot like the Moto Minnow.
It does, except it's a lot simpler than the Moto Minnow.
Yeah.
There's less failing spots, and it's quicker to tie. I mean, I fished this on Anderson Lake in the beginning of the spring, fished it on numerous creeks, did really well on Gates Creek at the end of the season when the sockeye were in there. Caught a couple really nice bull trout after passing eggs through, and then threw this in there and bang, caught a couple really like over 20-inch fish.
Change of presentation, change of whatever.
Yeah, and it's simple to tie, and you can throw a dumbbell on there, you can throw a cone head on there, you can tie it big, small, however you want to do it. I mean, as big as your craft fur is, you can go.
I've noticed in the shop there's been a dumbbell craze lately. I am completely cleaned out. There's a new order coming, so don't panic if you come in today or tomorrow and you realize that you got no dumbbell eyes.
Yeah, and part of the reason, I mean, I would have probably tied this also with dumbbells, and I did at the beginning of the summer when I had some, but basically threw them all away. And
now you're like, damn, I wish I still had some.
And here we are. But I wanted to show something that I had a pretty good success with over the summer.
Man, let's
go.
Hey, we're excited to have you back here, Scotty. And
I'm excited to be back.
A lot of your loyal followers are pretty excited to see you too, my man.
Okay.
Yes.
We got that in there. I'm gonna get rid of the glasses,
Scotty Holmes is in the building.
and we're gonna start time. We're gonna get our thread on there. Brad was cursing me, going, "How many times are you gonna break your thread tonight?" And I'm like, "Well, that's. I think I got rid of all my crappy bobbins, so I'm gonna go with a 0. But you never know." So first we're gonna do is we're gonna tie on our tail here, and I'm just loving the Creolex stuff. Put it in there a lot nicer. You don't have as much problem pulling it out. But there's a lot of ways you can go about this. You can take one strand or 2 strands and then just keep doubling them up. Or you can just take a whole bunch and double them up. A little bit shorter. Depends on how you want to work it. I'm going to trim them off in the end anyways. So I basically wanted about 2/3 the length of the shank. I want to keep them on top, hopefully. Okay, we got that on there. And, you know, we've been tying with this stuff for probably, I don't know, years, 5 years, 6 years on TV.
The pattern I'm doing today is actually using their large.
The large, yeah.
Polar chenille, UV polar chenille by Hairline, right?
Yeah, this one's by Hairline as well. Yeah.
Hairline, I think, makes the best one. There's a lot of different copycats out there, but Hairline's definitely got it figured out.
But I still use it, and I still like it. You know,
I
especially with salmon patterns and bigger streamers and stuff. It just takes up some space. The nice part is, I mean, you can wrap wire over it to reinforce it afterwards, but you just don't really need to. You don't. So it saves you.
Wires don't last long enough for them.
Well, that's kind of the way I look at it. Yeah, it's like.
I mean, if you're fishing them right, you're gonna lose them.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the reality.
Okay, so I'm gonna start this at the top so that I just keep my body the consistent size the whole way down.
Hi. Okay, first. Oh no, I'm sorry, I got something.
Who is that?
I don't know. We're live here at Spud Valley Sporting Goods downtown Pemberton at 1380 Bird Street.
And people can just show up randomly and go, "Hi."
Yeah. Well,
Who are you?
I think she was pretty surprised to see you, Scotty, to be honest.
Yeah, she walked in. Well, I know.
Like, cool.
I know who that was. So. Okay, and then we're gonna wrap our body. Nope.
Hey, if you're in Pemberton on a Friday afternoon,
Friday evening.
swing by the shop.
Time
say hi.
flat.
Where time flies, 5 o'clock till, I don't know, last week we were here till, I don't know, I was here till almost 8 o'clock.
Were you?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Just time flies. Had some cold bevies in the fridge here. Hey, don't.
John likes having a beer when he ties flies. Eh? I've noticed that.
John likes his IPAs, man. It's got to be local. And you know what I think about IPAs, man. I don't know. That ain't beer.
Yeah.
But he'll say the same thing about what I drink, so whatever.
And what's your favorite?
Everybody, I just like regular beer.
See, there, that's the same as me. I just don't want it. I just like a plain, nice.
Lager. I like
Yeah,
a
nice lager. Lager. That's the word.
As
Lager.
long as it's cold, man, I'll pretty well drink anything.
Yeah, as long as it's cold.
Except for IPAs. Because that shit ain't beer. Pardon my French.
Yeah, it's not beer. Okay, so now we're gonna take our nifty craft fur. Maybe we'll trim our tail a little bit. Just to get rid of the really long one.
That's funny, man. Well, we kind of grew up the same era where you didn't. When you went to the liquor store, there wasn't like 300 different types of beer. There was like LGD.
There was exactly. Yeah, Molson and Labatt's. That was it.
And Budweiser.
Yeah.
And I mean, like Coors was like new. You know,
Yeah.
like it didn't really come out until like we were already developed our taste for other beer. So,
Well,
yeah.
I started drinking in Alberta, so the beer out there in Alberta,
Oh, it would have been Rainier for
or
sure.
OV,
Yeah,
Oh, Vienna.
Yeah. And it was cheap. It was cheaper than water, I bet you, back then. Especially in Alberta.
Woo. Well, my buddy just got back from Alberta. You know what gas is in Alberta? It's
No.
89 cents a liter.
How much?
89 cents a liter.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Takes me back about 20 years.
Yeah, or more. Like, it's crazy.
Okay, so we're gonna tie this in. I'm just using a bit of a pinch on it.
Hey, while you're at it, you guys are watching the fly. Leave your comments. What's your favorite beer? And if it's IPA, just don't even bother putting it in the comments.
Unless it's something that we like, don't say anything.
Yeah, save
That's
your,
the way it works, right? It's
That's
like
right.
you have to say what we like.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Save your IPA comments for John's fly. Okay.
Okay, yeah,
John.
he'll love it. Yeah. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. It's a very quick fly to tie. I need new scissors too. My scissors are just getting really dull.
I'm liking these new ones that I got. From,
Those are new ones. You got a little shiny. See that? They got a little shiny.
Bedazzled, man.
Those are like girl scissors though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are. They are. Like that's why you got a little bedazzle on there. But see, they're sharp. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they're careful. You end up cutting half your finger off and not even.
That's
realize
fine.
it.
That's fine. I don't even need that half the finger. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing.
I'd almost like to see that in like a dubbing loop.
Well, you know what? That's
That would make that fly really quick.
the next step. Except that again, it takes more time, and I'm just these days time is not what I have, so I basically go with that. You know what? I do have another one. They're called 3D brushes. For anybody that's heard about 3D brushes, so 3D brush is a W is a
And that's by the same company, right?
by the same company, yeah, by Fairflies, and it's a W loop out of very strong material, almost like a wire leg material, but it's got all the stuff put in there for you. So basically, all you do is you just tie it on, do 2 wraps, and boom, you're done. Everything's
tie it
there.
on.
Your flash is in there. They've got some with rubber in there, like rubber
Almost like
legs.
cheating though.
Whatever, you know. I mean, again, tying a fly is tying a fly, and if it works and you get it on there.
Yeah, and it cuts your tying time down for sure.
Well, again, and not only that, for people that don't necessarily know how to tie big streamers, that want to get some done and don't have the time to go through and make these complex dubbing loops, I think that's the idea behind them. But I mean, I guarantee you, I bet a lot of people that can tie flies would use them as well. Okay, we're just going to put wing on top.
Another dab will do, baby. Does it feel good being behind the camera again there? Yeah.
Yeah, it's you know, I always enjoyed it. It's sometimes the coming up with the something new. I mean, there aren't any, well, I shouldn't say that. We're not discovering a whole bunch of new bugs in the world. Like they're basically the same ones.
You know what? Saying that, I was actually thinking of maybe doing some of the old classics this year, man. Just because of that, you know, like.
Yeah, well, I mean, again,
Some
they're the same insects that they were last year that are this year. Okay, so what I didn't have on that fly on the one in the demo was some of this stuff called lateral scale. See that?
Up a little bit right there, perfect. Got it.
But look at that.
Yeah, that's the, yeah.
Look at that. That stuff is so cool. And this is the first time I've really seen it. I saw it in Vancouver at one of the fly shops, but I never really took a real look at it.
The thing with that stuff is that you don't need a lot of it.
I'm going one piece.
Yeah. Oh, you can do 1 or 2 or whichever, but yeah, it does not take much. You can overpower a fly with that stuff.
I can see that. Okay, we're gonna flip it over and put one on the other side. But I think that that's just going to give that little bit of shimmer. I just like the way it looks. It's so cool. Like, you know, you can put flash blue. There's tons of things you can put in there as well. But something different. I don't know if anybody's using that. You should show us some flies. Everybody's got some cool flies made with this lateral scale. I'd be really interested in seeing them, getting some ideas. Have you been using it a lot, Brad?
Which the lateral scale?
Yeah.
I was using it a lot on like our coho patterns this year.
Yeah.
Like flash flies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the same thing, like I usually put like your traditional dubbings and stuff in behind it, and then same thing, 1 or 2 strands, because it really takes over a fly quickly, that stuff.
Well, I imagine in the water, that's like, especially with this, because the fur is going to condense, and then all you're going to see.
I found it worked better underneath, like the body, in a sense, and it kind of punched out through it a little bit.
Okay.
But
well,
either way, there's no wrong way. I mean, that's the beauty.
Well, yeah, and you learn.
What you're trying to do is use it as flash or attractive, just to get their attention from distance. And I mean, the way the lateral works is that it kind of breaks up your pattern to make it look like it's scaly, right?
Well, that's kind of the idea. That's what I was looking at it for. I was thinking, okay, yeah, that could definitely work for that. I did. Okay. Where's my little stick? You see it?
Velcro?
Yeah, the Velcro. I have it here. Yeah.
Right there. This one.
Thank you. So before I trim my thread, and the other thing that I was doing to make this easier was I was using a red felt marker. I forgot that at home, and I was just coloring the top part, the top part of the fly with the red, so that it covers up nice and easy. You got a red marker?
I might. What's that door?
And then I was putting a little bit of red on the thread just to save me from having to tie something else on, and having little bits of, you can see it right there. Not that the fish care, but
Yeah, I'm not sure if this one's big enough, but hopefully it'll do the job for you.
yeah, you don't have anything a bit bigger? Okay, so the giant pan, eh?
Yeah, well, that's how you get things done in a hurry, right?
Oh, yeah. You really get it done in a hurry with a pen like that, that's for sure. Okay, so basically we're almost done, and you know,
That's a great pattern, Scotty.
yeah,
I'm digging it.
I mean, it's super easy. That's the part I like about it.
Yeah, that's easier to tie in the moto, and I bet you it does exactly the same thing.
Yeah, the difference between that and the moto, I mean, the I can't even think of the name of it. The polar chenille, sorry.
Oh, the polar chenille.
Yeah, the polar chenille does sort of the same thing that the feather does when we wrap the feather up on the moto.
Builds your body up.
Builds the body up a little bit.
Keeps it from
Well, it also gives a little bit of movement in the water too, right? But yeah, very similar to a Moto Minnow. I mean, we all know how well the Moto Minnow works. And I've done the same thing. I've used these for buggers, used it for Moto Minnows, used it for a couple other patterns as well. It's the bomb. I mean, $8 for craft fur. You could get some white fur, and you could use a felt marker, reality being. And it does, as it wears in the water, it tends to come out a little bit grayish.
Oh, you mean it like the
purpley.
bars change a little color?
A little bit of color, and it comes out a little bit purpley.
Give that a slow roll, Scotty. I'll have a quick look at that bad boy. Yeah, now you're seeing the stuff poking.
Yeah, we gotta get our wings sitting up nicely, but
man, that looks good. That looks really good. Okay, let's go up top, man.
okay, well, there you go. See, and I didn't break my thread. even though Brad cursed me and tried to curse me
No, man.
and mug me.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, yeah.
I was excited to see it, man. To be honest.
But he did give me the big red pen to help out. So, I mean, that's what friends are for. When you need a pen, someone comes and they give you a pen like that, as big as it is. Yeah, I mean, it's a super fun time for everybody. You know, I am not tying as much as I would like to, but the winter months are definitely my tying time. In the evening, there's really nothing else to do. It's dark at 4 o'clock.
Thank God for hockey. That's all I can say.
Thank God for hockey. Yeah, so I'm gonna try and tie up some more flies for you. I mean, we've got some great new tires. You know, Rick's coming in tonight. I think Ethan's been hanging out but hasn't been tying.
He might come in tight on that. I'm not sure, but I know Ricky for sure. He's right on your heels. I got a great pattern that I've been working on too. I don't know if you got
John's been tying up some great flies. So yeah, there's a great group of guys tying flies. So with the guys that like to tie flies, till next tie, bang!